The psychological tricks to get your ex back. In this video, we will be exploring the psychological tricks to get your ex back. These are some of the most effective methods that have been proven to work in getting your ex back. Be patient. This is one of the most important tips that you need to keep in mind when trying to get your ex back. It is a common misconception that if you want someone to come back, then you should act desperate and go after them without any regard for their feelings or desires. This could not be any more wrong. The best way to get an ex back is by being patient and waiting for them instead of chasing them down and begging them continuously. This will make it seem like they have control over the situation and they are not being forced into anything, which can lead to resentment on their end. How guys can get girls back with these clever psychological strategies. A lot of guys are so keen on getting girls back that they don't know what to do. They are not sure how to approach the situation and they feel that they have no control over the situation. They come up with different strategies, but all of them seem like a waste of time. The first thing that you need to do is stop thinking about what she wants you to do or say. You should instead focus on what will make you happy and confident in your actions. You need to be able to tell her how much she means to you and how much you love her. You can win her back by focusing on these things. The things that you should focus on to win her back are: showing her that you still care and want to make things work. Be patient and understanding while she goes through the process of healing. Psychological tricks to get her interested and reel her in. A man has to do a lot of work to get a woman's interest and reel her in. But what if we told you there are a few psychological tricks that can get her interested in you without having to put in much effort? First, let's be clear about one thing: men and women are different. Women have evolved over the years to be more selective with their mates because they now have the ability to choose from many more suitors than their ancestors did. Men, on the other hand, still want as many partners as possible because they don't want to miss out on any opportunities for reproduction. The woman is not looking for just any man, she wants a partner with resources who will take care of her and her children. Men, on the other hand, are looking for as many partners as possible who will give them lots of children. Why women fall for these psychological tricks? Women are often vulnerable to psychological tricks because of the way their brain is wired. They are more likely to be empathetic and trusting, making them more susceptible to emotional manipulation. It is also important to note that women have been conditioned to believe that they need a man in their life, and this can lead them into a situation where they can easily fall for these tricks. Texting her randomly. This text message is a form of flirting and is often used to break the ice. It can be used to flirt with someone you don't know well or as a way to continue flirting with someone you are already talking to. Texting her randomly can be seen as a more casual form of communication than calling her on the phone. Texting her means that there is no pressure, and it's easier to be spontaneous when texting than when calling her on the phone. Flirting over text message etiquette. The etiquette of flirting over text messages is a hotly debated topic. There are those who think that it is inappropriate, while others believe it to be an acceptable form of communication. I believe that there are many scenarios where flirting over text messages can be appropriate. It all depends on the context and the person you are talking to. Learn how to appeal to a woman's mental process and get the girl you want. Everyone wants to get the girl, but it's not always easy. You might be wondering what you can do to make your chances of getting the girl you want better. The first thing you want to do is understand how a woman's mental process works. Women are emotional creatures and they are often looking for someone who can make them feel safe, wanted, and desired. If you know how a woman thinks, then it will be easier for you to appeal to her emotions. Little known psychological tricks to get her to like you. Be memorable. The most important thing you can do to be memorable is have a unique perspective. You can also use your own experiences and stories to be more relatable. You should also know who you are trying to reach and what they want. You should ask yourself, what makes me different? Make her feel good about herself. The first step to make her feel good about herself is to show her that you care. You want her to know that you are not just interested in sex, but in a connection with her. This section is about how you can make her feel good about herself. In order to make a girl feel good about herself, the first thing you need to do is show that you care. You want her to know that sex isn't the only thing on your mind, and that she's worth more than just being a sexual object for your pleasure. Compliment her freely and sincerely. When you are complimenting a woman, it should be sincere and given freely. Don't give compliments that you don't mean, or she will see right through it. Compliment her on her appearance. You look really nice today. Compliment her on what she is wearing. I like your shirt. Compliment her on something that she has done. That was a really great presentation. Compliment her intelligence. I love how smart you are. Find things in common with her. The first thing to do is to find out what she likes. Ask her about her hobbies, interests, and favorite books, movies, and music. If you have something in common with her, then you can start talking about that. If you don't have anything in common with her yet, then think about what she might like. You can start by asking if she has any pets or if she likes animals at all. Then you can ask if she likes sports or if she watches any TV shows. Allow her to be herself without judging, criticizing, or interrupting her. It is important for a woman to be able to freely express herself without being judged or criticized. It is often difficult for women to do so, especially in the workplace. However, this should not be the case. Women should feel safe enough to express themselves and their thoughts without fear of being interrupted or judged. Women are often interrupted by their male counterparts in the workplace, which makes it harder for them to express themselves and their thoughts. It is also important that they feel safe enough to do so because this will allow them to better contribute in meetings and discussions with men. Psychological tricks to get every girl you want. The foundations of game and psyche. The game of life is a game of skill, not chance. The man who knows nothing can do nothing, but he who knows something can do much. This section will explore the foundations of the psyche and its relationship to the game. I will discuss how the psyche is an integral part of the game and how it shapes our lives in many ways. I will start with a discussion on Freud's theory of psychosexual development, which he called the foundation stone on which psychoanalysis rests. How the 3 Ps theory affects your game. The 3 Ps theory is a framework in which games are analyzed. The 3 Ps stand for the player, the game, and the play. The player affects the game by being a variable that is not under control of the designer. This can be because of skill level, age, or anything else. The player also affects the play because he or she can determine what strategies to use and how to proceed during gameplay. The game affects the play by providing a set of rules that players must follow in order to progress through it. The game also affects players by providing a goal with which they must engage with in order to win it. Play is what happens when 2 or more players interact with one another in any given rule set from their respective games. 3 ways to build rapport with women. Men and women communicate differently. Some of the ways to build rapport with women include paying attention to their mood, understanding what they want, being on their wavelength. The danger of using fear as a game technique. The use of fear in games is not a new technique. It has been used for decades and it is still being used today. However, the danger of using it as a game technique is that it can cause harm to players. This article will explore the reasons why the use of fear in games can be harmful and what game designers should do to avoid this issue. What psychological strategy will work best for you? There are many different psychological strategies out there, but they all have one thing in common: they are designed to help people make better decisions. This article will explore the various psychological strategies and how they can be used to make better decisions. One of the most popular psychological strategies is decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is a theory that suggests that willpower becomes depleted after a long period of time and people become more likely to make poor choices. This is why it's important for people to take breaks from making difficult decisions throughout the day, otherwise, they might end up making bad decisions later on.